alignment. I'm talking fast cast flights, deep talks on the plane. Money working for me, no more stressing, no more chains. I'm still Harlem at the heart, I never lost my roots. I just traded in some Timbs for some tailored suits. I'm still loyal to the grind and I still speak my truth. I'm still betting on myself and I'm still raising my youth. I'm dueling my spirit and I balance it all. I'm soft when I love, but I'm savage when they call. See, freedom ain't luck, it's structure and faith. It's a discipline to build what they say that you can't make. Yeah, I'm chilling with a palm sway, dream bigger every calm day. If you knew what I've been through, you'd pray my way. Right now, we're just gonna go through the process. I understand you want gold, but we're not doing gold. Okay? We're going over structure. So we want to use something that's less volatile. You're gonna be the student right now, and I picked USGCHF for a reason. No gold or NAS, right? You don't want to train on something that is very volatile, right? It's super important. You want to train first on something that moves a little bit slower. So right now, we're gonna work on again our S and R levels, right? Key levels. So when you have your pair, right? If you have your main pair that you love, I don't care, whatever reason it is, whatever reason, maybe just speak to your spirit. I want you to type, what is your favorite pair in the chat? Because what we're going to do with this pair, that's what I need you to do with that particular pair, right? For me right now, that pair for me is NAS. Gold, UJ, any pair that makes me money. Okay, yes. Shawnee Pips, EU, Gold, NU, don't have a favorite yet. And that's okay. You don't need to have one. You can say, like I say, I like structure. I don't have a favorite pair. Gotta stick to structure. Right? Everybody is everything pips in here. So that means, again, you might want to take some time and you want to do this process from monthly. We're going to work this way down from monthly to 1 hour. Okay. So since we're in the monthly time frame, right, you guys got to start going back and prep. So everybody should have this 4 hour SNR level now saved inside of their horizontal array. Put a 1 if you have it saved. Right? Everybody should have gotten at least this step done by now. If you didn't, put a 2. Y'all playing, right? I hope so. Well, you got to go back watch that video. So I'm gonna grab my monthly SNR, right? And I'm actually gonna put this one. Actually, what should this be? Should I put it as monthly SNR or should it be something else? All right. If we have time, we'll do gold next. Okay, y'all. But right now we're gonna do a regular Forex pair. Is there another one? It's a high, but what kind of high is it? Let's go, Sean. All right, we want to use all-time high. We want to know exactly where we are. So should I be marking up the lower lows or the lower highs for our main levels on this trend? And I'm just gonna go get the all-time low. Lower lows. Good job. Good job. So can y'all point where are the lower lows? Where am I putting my horizontal SNR lines? Where do they go? Let's see if y'all can get it. I'm gonna give y'all 1 minute. When we marking up key SNR levels, right? Think about the bottom of the wick, not the bodies, right? Because we want the entire low to be broken. If it is not the low of that move, it is not the SNR level. I know we on Hakanashi, but we want it on the lines. That makes sense? Everybody got that? Oh. My boy Seven said, I'm getting the internal lower lows too, Auntie. Okay, baby, I see you out on these streets. I am not mad at it, okay? Can we drop some C's in the chat for Seven with himself? He is determined to learn. Let me tell y'all, he don't want to miss class. He got his notes. He got his coloring tools to make sure he got his different color candles. Let's go, Seven. Now, can so for Seven section, I want my team to realize this. Technically, Seven was not our lower lows because this one is lower than all of those. Okay, honey? So those don't really count because they're above the low. Now, for everybody else, but Seven, I need you to try to not mark so much, okay? Gotta remember that too. So, guys, all right, you already did it. Y'all took off the one that was improper, right? We was only focused on lower lows. So the one that was marked here, right? What was that actually called? It's not a lower low. What is it? All right. So now I'm gonna actually put it. Oh, it took away my old time low. All right, so we got our all time high, all time low. Y'all did a really good job on the lower lows. So we're gonna put the monthly, right? Because this your main pair. We're on the monthly. And I'm gonna go down to my monthly SNR. Now I get to just clone it and put it at every single lower low. Now we want to talk about this little section right here. This little section, because sometimes price can get a little weird. Now this section right here, let's talk about it. Right, we had a lot of little different breaker structures. Do you guys think that we should have one here and here and here? Does each one count? Which one, Shawnee? Seven, stop marking on the chart. You have to have some discipline and not just start marking on the chart. So Shawnee said, this is the only one you're going to mark, Shawnee?
Yeah, that's the only one I would mark because I mean to me it's still a part of this the whole swing, so I don't feel like we got enough pullback to classify the other two.
Right. So if we were on like 1 hour, 4 hour, I would say yes. But on the monthly, we want to notate everyone because when we start going lower, it's such a big gap between those monthly levels. Now, what I would suggest, since this top one is on the top and it's closer, I would go into my settings and just put my word on top for this one, just to give me a little more space between my wording. But on the monthly, if it's a true breaker structure, I just still want you guys to leave it, right? Because I think it's still a valid spot, okay? Because it definitely, as we go lower, it's gonna definitely widen up, right? We might even on the 1 hour end up putting something in between here. We don't know yet, but let's add the rest of them, right? And That's the last one. We're gonna work our way down the monthly, weekly, 4 hour, 1 hour, and we're gonna keep working it through. But for the monthly, definitely. Maybe even the weekly, maybe the daily, but you'll see as we start getting through, right? Because we definitely don't want to have a million lines on the chart, but we do need these key areas. So since this was a downturn, this was the last low. So right now, we did our job. Who thinks they can take a few minutes and just find your lower low and put your key levels? Right? It's not going to take us that long. Right? Next job, weekly. We're going to go in, reset the chart because we want to see the levels. Now, where do we focus on? Where is the next level we focus on? I always say, find where current price is. Find it. And what do I want you to do? How many levels below and above do I want you to focus on? Two. Two. When we go down, we focus on two. Why? Because how long would it take for us to get here? Here. How long it might take? Do we need to bother with it? No. But if we ever get there, the lines is already marked. Those levels are always key. So on your monthly levels, I definitely would suggest locking them. Right? Go in and lock these. These are never gonna change, right? It's gonna save you a lot of time every month, every week. You don't need to keep updating these. And you don't want them to move when you go to a lower time frame. Right? Everybody got that? Just gonna lock all our key levels. You also can click it and lock it from here as well. Right? So right now, we're gonna zoom in. Since we're at the old time low, there's no lower to go. Yes, correct, Mo. And we know that we're gonna work with two levels above where current price is, which is this level and this level. That's more than enough for us to work with. And now we're going to zoom in. So I would just zoom in from here and take that whole section that I want. All right, now we can bring it down some. And now I can work within these levels. So all of price right now is in between these two levels, right? So now we're gonna work on the weekly S&R levels that's stuck between this key level and this one. So do we see how big this space is? Even this space. Can you find your trades between this level and this level, Shawnee? This one and this one, right? That's still definitely, right? So that's why we don't want to really skip that. So now, since price is kind of right in between these two levels, we don't even need to go up to here. Does that make sense? Price has literally been stuck in here for a long time. This is from here to here is 1,050 days. So we don't even need to go above. We need to now understand that, hey, our house, right? I always talk about the house, the main house. This is the entire house, right? This is our entire house. This is the roof. And we have the basement. Our job is to trade in between, right? And what's in between that we need to look for? What do we need to find that goes from the roof to the floor? What do we call it though? We're looking for our key what? Key areas, support and resistance levels. Let's go, y'all. So we're still in the downtrend. But I want to catch everything that went from, pretty much from probably from here to here. Whatever I could get, as much as I can get within the screen, right? I probably just want to work from here down. Make sense? You really wanted to tune in, you really could just work from inside of here when it was above and work this way down. That's okay too. But this is the last time it was above the key level, and we have been breaking down ever since. right? Because remember, all we're doing right now is finding the key levels. So now we need to do lower lows again, right? So if I want, I can start from here. So this now is my what? Weekly SNR level. So that's going to let you know what time frame it is. So now you don't got to keep jumping from time frame to time frame. Right. Sometimes I like to also put them in different colors. So I kind of preset them that way. Is everybody following? We're just doing low lows again. Right? Keeping it real simple. Just low lows. All right. Let's go, Toya. Do we have another one? Right. So somebody might say, hey, it's a lot of levels. Is it? Are we trading off the weekly? No. So the same way that monthly spread apart, when we start going lower again, these weekly levels are going to open up, right? And then that's when we got to pick what? Because by that point, when we go to the daily time frame and prices right here, right? We got one level, two level below current price, and then two levels above. That's going to be our focal point. Make sense? We also have this big old swing. So that might be our focal point when we go to the daily, but let's go to the daily. I'm going to reset our chart, get it back in motion, and we know where our levels are. So let me lock this because this blue, I don't want it to move when I want to move the chart. So sometimes you got to lock stuff so you can grab the blue part so you can still move your screen. If it's not locked, it won't move. It'll just keep moving the blue. Um, what do you call this? I guess the rectangle that I'm using or whatever. So let's get rid of this house actually, so we can just work within the level. Yep. So that's good to working because that's what it's doing right now. It's literally on it. So, but this is nice, right? We know that below us is the all-time low. We see our weekly levels. We see the next monthly is up here. So that's pretty much, if I was to take a trade, I'm not looking to go no past this. But obviously, these are weekly levels, so we're smart enough to know, hey, this is where current price. So where's our focal point, right? Two above, we got this below, but now there's a big old gap between here and all-time high. So we need to see what's in between here on the daily. So we got to go back to this area and see where are some key levels. So we can either look for key levels going down for the lower low or key levels high going up. So since price is back there coming down, right? Let me just find what the last key level was here. So I need to mark this as a daily SNR, right? So I'm gonna add a couple of these high highs, and I'm gonna go back and see that is cutting up into this area. So when I see it like this, I take this away, right? If you two on top of each other, I don't need you. Now this one is not too bad because that's a pretty decent gap. So here, let me take this off. Keep it clean. It's not that the weekly is stronger, it's just cleaner, right? And it's more recent. That's all. I'd rather pick recent over older, if that makes sense. All right, I'll usually go for the more recent one. So now we're on the daily. It's really no, like, I mean, we could kind of try to stick one and cut this in half, but to me, this is the distance here. And now my next job is say, okay, well, let me work with my ABC level. So since this is a downtrend, do you think making it more transparent shade is okay instead of fully removing it? You, as far as the house, you like the house? Is that what you meant? Or you meant the line, the daily zone? Yeah, it's up to you. If you want to put that there so you can remember, that's okay too. I'm not mad at that. Even when we go like this, it's still pretty much a gap. Because this will also help people remember, hey, when you get to this level, you might be running into a brick wall, right? I always consider these brick walls. So that way you can remember. So when I see people make a mistake and they be like, hey, Ta, I'm looking to take this buy right here. What's wrong with this picture? How you gonna say everything? It's not in no means land. You know, they're looking to go from this weekly to this. But what's wrong with it? What's the problem? They gonna run right into what? A brick wall. You know, like this could work out perfectly, but if this weekly want to hold up, you run it and you ain't giving yourself a chance, right? That's why you want to buy above key levels, right? That entry is not ideal. That is a good way to say that, right? And then not only that, if the wall is gonna hold up, this level is gonna hit, then your stop loss is set up for failure. Versus if you let them break it and we get the break of that key level and then they retest and respect it, then the stop loss is okay, right? Because then we have that probably new base and you know, right, basically an entire U-turn. So that's why knowing your key levels is key no matter what time frame you do them on, right? Especially when you look in a scalp 10-minute, 5-minute, and you see a trade like this. Some part might be like, oh no, I don't like that trade. But this is a solid trade. That's actually a solid trade because you enter it inside this brick wall and you're gonna get out at the smack of the next wall. And you got your wrist in the proper spot because you waited for price to actually close below that level. That makes sense? So we on the daily. I think we shouldn't put any more daily levels. Like I see a couple we could kind of put, but it's at the wicks, and I really want it to be here at these key levels. So I mean, maybe mm, really this one should be here, and this is daily. But I mean, that's really it. At this point, we move on to our main trading time frame, which is the 4 hour for the structure. And we can see where price on the 4 hour been stuck between which two levels, right? They've been stuck between these two levels. But we eventually got that break above too, because I think we took our trade from down here. We got that. Yeah, it was really low somewhere. What is this? Friday, Monday, Sunday. So somewhere over here we caught the entry. We had a nice master candle, right? So I think a pullback is gonna happen to continue up. So we had the entry, right? Price closed outside. They took over the sellers. We had pointed out that for one, I saw, can somebody show me what made me say that, hey, now that we stalled out here, we're probably gonna really have a great buy. far as structure goes, what can you show me on a chart that really said, hey, this buy is going to be nice, even though we've been stuck in this channel forever? So what you pointing to? What you telling me? I think somebody else pointed there too. What y'all telling me there? Oh, that blue line is what I'm looking for. I don't know who just put it. I missed it. That's what I'm looking for. I don't like what this change of character is, but here, let me help. Let me do it like that. Okay, I see you. Right? So let's talk about the structure because now we're actually, this is where more of the work comes into play, right? Just make sure we understand what we're looking at because this is our time frame to trade. And what we're going to do is let's do a replay so we can understand why I fully called it out. Because I think we need to do a lot more of that too. Breaking down why Ty did what she did. But I think you guys are in such a good spot. Y'all kind of could see now what I'm doing. All right, 1 through 10, how much can you see why I call the trade I take versus when you first started? Shaq, we're getting better. 8 depends on the pair. 9 out of 10. 7 out of 8. 7, 8. 5, 6. It's actually a good number for you, Lala. Just need the sniper eyes. Okay, we getting there. At first, it was like a 3. All right, y'all came a long way. I still don't know what that is, but hey. So let's look at the structure, right? So here, right, we had a higher low, right, going to a higher high. We broke that weekly level, right? And then price did a what? It changed character. How do we know it changed character? Because it was supposed to make another higher low, but it made a what instead? What did it do instead? A lower low. Change direction. A healthy trend is supposed to keep going, right? Price was supposed to break above this, maybe retest to the base and keep going, maybe retest this line and keep going. But it did not do that, right? Instead, it reversed and made a lower low change in the direction. Me either. I'm not sure what you wrote either. But then Price pulled a supersonic move and decided, hey, I'm going to follow that up with my own change of character. And it broke right back into a new what? Y'all getting it? Higher high. So y'all know what I'm thinking. What did I tell you guys about change of characters? And mind you, even though we're on the structure in the 4 hour, the weekly is getting a change of character, right? Think about that. We're looking at it on the 4 hour, but we know exactly where we are. We just broke this level. So where is your 0 to A? Right? Whenever we see a nice change of characters, that's really time to pay attention. That's time to actually think about holding the trade a little longer, right? We talk about our different type of setups. But what do we have? It's just 0 to A. 0 to A. Why is this a 0 to A? Right? Here's a base, right? Did price consolidate for the first part of the phase? So we have a little trap here. Was they consolidating? Was they in control by the master candle? I'm gonna zoom in so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Right? Are we in the trap down here? Right? And then price closed outside that master candle, kept going up, create the change of character. So at that point, can you pull your fib out at this point for just a 0 to A move? Yes, because that's part of what you already learned, right? But now we're applying it. Hey, let's put up, right? We got our stuff broken up into 4 pieces so we don't get caught in the traps where the popular people hang out at, right? You want to avoid that. So we want to check our stop loss. Is it in a sound spot? Because where's our stop loss on the fib supposed to be? We take a trade. Where's our stop loss supposed to be? Let me see if y'all can mark it on the chart. Right? Enter in the trade. Where your stop loss at? Now, is that a good spot since it's like underneath the weekly SR level? It's a good spot. All right, so you know what I'm gonna do for that? That means we need to work on our structure concept real quick. So let's go up into an empty space for a second before we move on. Let me delete those marks. And this is how I be catching those moves I'll be talking about. Yeah. Now this is the downtrend version. And then I'm gonna turn it into the uptrend version. But let's start from left to right. Now, right? If I'm trying to make money, my goal is we supposed to ride the B to the C, right? That's the rule. And that's our ABC, right? It's like, hey, we had an expansion, we had the retracement, boom, my B to C. No problem, Cheryl. Right? We took that trade, we out of that trade because we know every time price, right, make a higher high, they want to retrace at least 50% or 75 and 88%. Right? And that's why we can't avoid the 32.8 or the 61.8 because we know that's where the masses hang out and we know they usually give a little push out and then next thing you know it's boom 75, 88. So that's why we only look at those 2 spots, right? But all right, fine. We get the next trade, right? We're waiting to take it up and we're really building nice liquidity up at this point. We expect price to come at least here or deeper. So maybe this time, since they're in good momentum, they only come back 50. And we're like, okay, cool. That's an SNR trade for us. We like those. You broke the high, you retest the high. Nice. We like those. So remembering, as this is happening, we're building up a lot of what? What is this called that we're building up? And why we even need to put a trend line, right? Why are we putting that there? A lot of liquidity. So when you have really, really nice, good trends, right? Another expansion out, come back to the base, take the next trade, right? Break up, next trade. And then the momentum gets a little less, right? Then maybe they don't even come back the whole way. They go up. And then this time they just go sideways, right? They don't even do a retracement. They do a rally, base, boom, they go up some more. So maybe you caught, maybe you didn't catch this one because this don't follow the rules, but maybe you took this one. But maybe you didn't take it, but there's probably a lot of other people who took it, right? So right now we're still getting what? Higher highs and higher lows, right? We're still getting higher highs and higher lows, right? And I'll be like, I love it. I just love all-time highs. I know it took us a long time to get in that Nas, baby. Because she just wanted to keep going up, getting on my nerves. But baby, if you can't see the liquidity and know them stop losses, because there's somebody out there that's saying, keep holding, keep holding. And what's even worse, unfortunately, there's people who buy high. And they just don't even got a stop loss. They said, I don't want to put a stop loss. I don't want to get taken out, but I'm trying to go, I'm trying to get up here. And can you imagine there's quite a few people who is buying at these highs because they're like, oh, it went, I don't want to miss it. It's probably gonna keep going. So they probably never even made it. Let me know if it makes sense. And then there are a lot of people that's buying where? All in between. Buyers, 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 because they don't know what they're doing. Buyers, 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 buyers. They're using somebody bum ass scanner, right? They're listening to an overpriced leader. Buyer, buyer, yeah, it's gone. And then next thing you know, we like, hey, I need somebody to. Each one of these stop losses is what now? A high or low. So where's the last high or low? It's at this weekly SNR level. Man, these people are lined up like ducks. And when that first change of character happened, oh, I'm excited. I'm like, yeah, about time, Nas. Now come back here, show me it's real, so I can go with you all the way down. And I'm holding this one. Can you see the visual? So in this case, when we flip side, and you like, oh, you've been going down forever, USDCHF. Look at it. It's gonna be beautiful. This is the first time we got a real change of character. Oh, we getting in this trade. We getting in this trade. Can y'all see it? Let me know. How much can you see it? 1 through 10. I was excited about this one, I ain't gonna lie. And I don't even trade this pair like that, but I trade structure. So when I saw what was happening on a daily, and I'm like, ooh, it's a daily change of character. We gonna get a weekend tree. I was hyped, y'all. Y'all probably can't even see sometimes when I be sitting out these. But I was like, this one gonna be nice because look at it. Because what I tell y'all, what's in these wicks? What's inside of these wicks? Candles if I go lower. Oh, need some candles in there. Maybe. Yes, you got it. So now the 4 hours is giving me more of a picture that I want to see, right? So 4 hour had this master candle here, right? And even if you didn't use the fib, this was technically like the last night's big base. So now let's switch to the Japanese candles real quick. Because if it wasn't that, we're supposed to use the order block. So for the Japanese people, where's the order block that was our base in this section? Which one is the one we should have had the rectangle on if you're not using Hakanachi candles? Right, it did break a strong level, right? It's the first true breakout, yep. So are we gonna use the whole body and the wick? What are we gonna use? The whole thing, Toya, whole thing. The whole candle. And I can't see with them other little markings. So let's take that off. And this is our order block, which is basically the base, right? So we got order block and the master candle base. And the master candle, we don't use the wicks, we just use the body. So this is our whole base. Everybody got that? So let's go back a bit because this is our retracement phase. Let me see, somebody writing answers. Okay. How do we take this trade? We can keep the fib on. And the fib says we're allowed to take a trade when price do what? Close below what key level? 25%. So we was using structure. This is a key 4-hour, right? Because we use a 4-hour SNR line for our higher high. So is this not array? What's the problem? All right. So it's a 4-hour level, and then it's a 25%. So what do we rely on more? 25% or this 4-hour? Which one? Great job, 4-hour. Right? Because what if I put the fib wrong? Is this higher high wrong? But could the fib be wrong? Because the fib, you had to do it. You had to. What if you put it here instead? Because I see people do this sometimes. They fib is be in the middle of stuff. They forgot that the zero go on top, and they made a mistake and put the 25% on top. They do that a lot. Then you kind of messed up. It's different, right? So you always want to. That's why I say structure rules. So going back, if you was to set this trade up for a sell, how do you set it up? You got your key level. We know that this was the expansion phase because it made a change of character. It has a higher high. We have the key level. Isn't this like our super snipe entry area? Right? Going back to that training. Isn't this a left shoulder, possible head? And if we get back underneath, it's the right shoulder. And all we're doing is looking to go back down to our base, right? Everybody got that part? So you was gonna stay on this 4-hour time frame. How do we set this trade up? So I want to know where's your entry and then where we should be putting our stop loss. We're gonna take the sell down, right? How do we do the retracement trade? Yeah. And that could be your what? What target should that be? Great question, MJ. So what target is that for you then? That's the first time we might hit a brick wall. So it's your TP1. You got it. Exactly. Right? Your levels are your entries, your stop losses, and your TPs. So let me see, right? So we get our risk tool, right? We don't have to guess where we're entering. We know we need price to close below this number, not wicked. Close below. We should be above this higher high, right? Now, what should I do with this retracement trade? Can I do a one-to-one to start? Or do I need to understand that, unfortunately, this is TP1. I can't make the rules up. You can feel like, hey, do I want to still take this trade or not? Well, if you believe in your analysis, you can. All right. Manage your trade when it hits the TP1. But we also, what part you want me to say again, Mo? It's better if you ask me a different question.
Sorry, the part where you said the SNR is like your entry or your stop losses
This SNR 11, we're using it for what right now?
for
One
entry.
entry. And then we said this is going to be what?
RTP.
Yep. So we're
Okay,
using
cool.
our SNR levels for entries and TPs.
Okay, no worries.
Nope. So then we have this last high. So we need to be above this key level. And this is why we always put, for this one, we'll put last high. Because it's not the all-time high, but it's the last high we're working with. So you don't never want to put your stop loss like this, right? Mo, can you tell me why we can't put our stop loss right on top of the line?
Because we need to be 25 pips above the higher high for the stop loss.
We could pick 25. We could just pick that number, 25 pips.
Well,
We use
I'm
that
just
number.
going based off what we've been learning.
So you just, I don't know where you get that number from. I'm not mad at that number, but how do we pick? Because let's see, right? 2 pips. So you're like, hey, I will pick 25 pips above from there, and I'm gonna put it right there. So
Is
that's
that okay?
right. I don't have a number, right? Because what if you're on a different pair and this was 100 pips from here, right? We can't kind of pick the number. We kind of just drag it far enough away or use your spread. How big is the spread? If your spread is low, then hey, you can put it just above away from this because this is the retest zone,
All right.
right? Because we could get a good entry and they want to do this. Test again, test again. So we do need some space for those wicks, those sweeps that they like to do. So I don't really know what the number is from here to how far it is because depending on the pair, that number is going to change because the price on the side is changing. Because if we do the same thing on NAS, we can't pick 25 pips on NAS. Probably not even gold right now. We could do it on like EU, this kind of pair, because I mean, this is 80 cents.
Yeah,
Right.
but it's a big difference from the forex pairs compared to the indices, correct?
Right. So that's why we can't really pick and say, oh, it got to be 25 pips. We just need to be above. And so this far away is telling you it's 68 pips is your risk. Right. So when you're prepping your trade for your own self, then you know, oh, okay, I'm gonna have my own trade tracker. I know, I mean, I'm taking this trade, it's gonna, my stop loss is worth 68 pips. Right. You know where you want your entry at? You can start with 1-to-1. But when we get here, you probably got to think about protection, taking a partial, or at least checking your trade. Because this could be the end result. We are very bullish, right? They can just come down a very little bit, hit this, and go right back up. All right. So my advice in this case is I feel like the real key level is down here. This is our conservative sound entry, right? Obviously, it's more risk. This is what I say is our head and shoulder first kind of super snipe entry because we're getting in soon as they close below to give us a tighter, a better risk, right? And then this could be our TP1, and then we can make our additional targets on the way down, right? And you can always do, right? Start with the 1.5, right? Because we're thinking about how much growth we're getting. Because 1-to-1, how much did we gain in our account, guys? If we make this 1-to-1, how much did we gain? Half a percent, right? And then if we get to 2-to-1, how much did we gain in our account on this one trade? Right? Risk reward 2-to-1. We made 1%, 2 targets, and we out of there. Right? Going back to the Fib. How do we use our targets with the Fib before we knew about the SNR lines? Right? It says, hey, you have to take a trade when it closes below 25%. So this is the super snipe. This is the weekly SNR. Maybe you can put your entry on the one that's in between, right? Either way, you know that this entire section now is your entry zone. So even if you are late, you just need to know where's that zone. Well, I'm allowed to enter on this line, and this is my last level to enter because this is my TP1 for us, our key quarter fib levels. And for the retracement trade, we get out at 75%. We don't even really wait to the base. We get out because we know that this trade is bullish. But this entire purple zone from the best entry, The earliest entry to the middle entry to the latest entry. This is where we're looking to pull a trigger within this space. Everybody got that? Okay. So I want you to tell me what is going to be your entry. Either way, I'll stop loss. All three entries, the stop loss is above the last high. That don't change, right? We got three possible entries. I want you to tell me, is your entry number one, super snipe? Entry number two, 25% fib, a little more conservative. You want the extra confirmation, or you want it to be the weekly SNR level, and we're all gonna not stay in no further than 75%. Right? You need to start picking that. Right? Make a decision. So we understand this is the most aggressive. Fib levels is good. Weekly SNR is definitely the best. But what's gonna give us the best RR? The super snipe. This is in the middle. This is 1-to-1. So if you had to pick, which one do you think is probably the best one to choose? Just using sound judgment. Which one do you think is best to use? Everybody got to pick an answer. If you had to use sound judgment and say, you know what, which one sets me up really for the best situation? Yes, correct, Toya. So let's break this down logically. Trade number one is not the best option. Now, I ain't gonna lie, we be eating off these like crazy. So I know y'all probably looking at me like, Ty, it gotta be one because you be going crazy on those. You be, but in reality, it's not the best one, y'all. It's not. I promise it's not. Like, it's sexy when it's sexy, but this one is the mollywop one. It like to get tested with, and then it'd be like this. Y'all done had to eat some of those with me. We be lit. Yes, yes. It'd be like, what? You got Molly. Yo, y'all put some teeth in the chat for Toya. Let me tell you, I think she be clocking me, y'all, right? Because low key, she be like, oh, that's Tyrus. All right, I'm just gonna go like this. I'll be out the trade. That girl's still in there. Like I made it. I'm like, are you still in there? Damn. I don't see her do that a couple. She said, "Time you be playing around with them tight stops." Because listen, if I'm wrong, take me out early. Take me out early. I don't want no one. Yeah, yeah, she happy as hell. Listen, that's the goal. I'll do your teacher. Your goal and my goal is for you to be better than me. Let me tell you. But I mean, that's so funny, y'all. But I ain't telling no lies. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Right? So that's why no, this is not the best one. But there are a lot of times where people wait for this, and man, I'm out. It ain't going, you missed it. It ain't coming back for you. So that's why I'm willing to take my little quick hit, and then I call it playing baseball because if you come back and give me and close back, well, then I'm just gonna get back in. I use proper risks. I can get back in. Right? We good to go. But we're gonna go over to seem like this was the most popular answer, number three. This is also not the best one or the favorite one, in my opinion, because it's gonna give us a 1-to-1 risk to reward, right? I gotta wait longer for the entry, which also might ensue. I can get in, and then that's right when they want to do this. And I'm like, oh man. So for me, it's like I'm willing to take this risk to go here, but this to me where the 25% is is the best one because it's in the middle of the kind of risk we're risking. This is almost like it already closed below this one. So this is like one sound confirmation, right? And the 25% is a measure of this entire move. So it is a quarter point we just closed below and we get a better RR in the end. And worst case scenario, we do this and we see it struggling, we could just get out because we already prepared that this is a brick wall. But if we get that extra break, then hey, this person do get 1, 2 confirmation. This probably has the highest accuracy, but the least RR. That makes sense? Kind of what I just said? I hope so. I kind of went fast on that one. I'll be forgetting my brain go fast, y'all. I'm sorry. But I hope it made sense. All right. So let's speed up because I see we wait over time. But I'm trying to get the whole concept out to y'all. Because it's the main thing. We want to talk about the trade we actually took. So our retracement trade would have been beautiful, right? Went back to the base. Now we know it's time to, this one I got excited. I said, oh yes, we are back at the base now. We crushed that 75%. We out of that sell. We're not going to be greedy. So if somebody said, but Todd, it looks like it's going to keep going. And what am I going to tell you? If you ask me, but Todd, what if it keep going? What am I going to say? And we're in the sell and you want to keep holding. Get out the damn trade. It's over. We milked it. You were supposed to already been out to 75%. I don't even know why you're still holding on right here. It's done because this change of character, this smart money concept just told you, hey, get out. Prepare for the next setup because we are at the beginning. So, according to this structure, we don't really have any layers between this daily and this weekly. So how do we get them? How are we going to figure out what to use? We already have the fib, right? So we could use our fib levels, but we're trying to take the training rules off. What can I use to figure out where my levels in between here? Because we looking to take this buy up, right? We got 0 to A. We came back to the base, right? B is the base. And now we want to go and see if we can make the higher high happen because this higher high is weak. This is weak. This one is weak. At least that's what we're assuming. So right now we have a weekly SNR level. We have a daily. Do we really even have 4 hour? We just got one 4 hour level. Are we missing some of our 4 hour levels in this uptrend? Are we missing some? That's probably going to fill nicely in between this gap. And we could take the bases off because you don't necessarily need a base when you have your key levels until you're ready to take a trade. So y'all tell me, where's those key levels we can use? Where are they? How should we mark it? Right, this is where the confusion starts to kick in for the traders. Where do we put these 4 hour levels at? Where are they? Right, and we could take this change of character off because we don't need this. We have an uptrend. So what should we focus on? That's to be the first thing you ask yourself. I'm in the uptrend. So she told me in uptrends, the SNR levels belong on the what? The higher highs. So where should they go? We got this higher high and this higher high. Where are the other ones? Can we find them? Are these key levels we can use? Right? Really big gap down here, right? On downtrends, we could use lower lows. So maybe you decided, you know what, let me see how the lower lows line up. I always say whatever paints the prettier picture Lines up better, use that. Or you want to use that lower low, right? Touch, touch, touches, touches. I like that one the best. What y'all think? Right? These two are solid, right? So now we good. Don't we got enough levels to actually work with now? We good? Right? Not too crowded. This makes sense. So now that we kind of got enough zones and stuff like that, we know that we got the expansion move up. We knew we had to wait for it to come back to the base. You want to double check, right? Grab your fib. We know it came to that 75%. So we really like that, right? We know now we can go to our lower time frame to prep the trade. So for me, since this one had a 4-hour candle here, should I really master? I don't know if that's a candle or not. Let me go another candle. Because it was like a really nice clear one. All right, here it is. This is what it looked like at the time. So first of all, let's talk about how the master is right on top of the 4-hour level. Right? It's really beautiful. That's what we want to see. We love those. All right, boom. So we got our 4-hour master candle locked and loaded. We got our key levels. And now what time frame should I go to? Should I just jump to the 15-minute? Right? Or you can say, hey, I want to go down a little bit. Let's start at the 1 hour and see if there was a better master candle on the 1 hour. Right? So we had seen prices dropping super low. So this is really nice, right? So if I saw this picture, do I like this picture better than the 4-hour picture we had? Which one I like better? The 4-hour picture where we kind of got a doji for a master. But then the 1 hour is like, nah, that's what we want to see. We want to see a nice master, clean, flat top doji, right? And then this hitting this level, we see a little fake out. And then, mind you, we've been waiting for price to close above this 4-hour level. Is this our signal? Did we just take over? Should we be in this trade already? Right? But we got even a better entry than that. So let's put this back before that even happened. Go to 30-minute. This is why sometimes y'all see me in the 30-minute because it's just the picture is prettier for what we want to see. How about the 30-minute? Is that nice? Now it gave us 2 dojis. I like that even more. That picture does not see the true trap. So now this closed outside, but it didn't close above the 4-hour level, and that's what we was waiting for. Right? We wanted that close above. But this early signal, you either using it as a snipe or you're using it just as a nice confirmation that your play is probably gonna actually happen. Right? And then I was showing y'all how we had this. Can you see the liquidity of all the sellers stop losses that's on their way, trying to work their way down? Can you see them lined up? And we had them break out a bit right here, but they closed right back in. They respecting it. So right now we still got lower highs and lower lows. Right? We still got lower highs and lower lows. Is this the last lower high? This is the last lower high. So I got my super snipe entry, which is I use the candle signal, and I'm like, hey, I'm getting in early. I have we're gonna break this 4-hour level entry, and I'll use this as a confirmation instead, and I'll enter from there. Or what's the other entry? right? Hopefully you said the change of character when we close above the actual structure of the lower high, right? That's the most conservative entry. So now when you look at that zone, you're like, all right, this is my entire entry zone. I need to make sure I'm in here no later than passing this one. Now, this 30-minute got its own structure. Yes and yes. Does it have its own lower lows? So if I like the structure and I see what I'm looking at, then I need to understand that this 30-minute time frame gonna have pit stops along the way. It's gonna have pit stops. Where's the pit stops? How do I find them? Well, if it's a downtrend, it's gonna be lower lows. I don't think I got 30 minutes saved. So when I don't have 30-minute lower numbers saved, I know I'm not gonna keep them forever anyway. I just use SNR. And I know that's just a lower time frame level. Like, hey, you even on the 15, 30-minute, you in the lower time frame, but it's still kind of key. Right? This one is too close, don't need it, but this one definitely need it. This one need it. And now I got my 30-minute levels. And that's how I gave us what? TP1, TP2, TP3. But I said, hey, I got the extended going up. I think I'm stopping at the weekly, maybe. I don't remember. Or was it the last high? I don't know. Somewhere in one of these. I think it's the weekly. But this is why I had to stop and get out here. But I said the extended is up here, which is kind of the last place we broke from that we didn't really retest. Makes sense? And mind you, you could always cut this in half. You could even be like, all right, I want to make my own and a new target, you know. I want to protect it halfway in between that big gap. But usually the gap is the space. So now we just need a proper entry, Japanese candles. We already had the buyers take over the last sellers open, right? So on the Japanese side, we got the first entry. So let me move this purple out the way. So this one already closed, but technically I always say we watch for 15-minute entries when we mark up the 4 hour. So on this time frame, the super snipe came down here. And you're probably gonna not be able to see it until you train your eyes, unfortunately, Yana. Just being honest. Vaster, last candle before the doji came out, which is the consolidation trap, and we have to wait until we close outside of it. So this would have been the super, super sniper entry that we would have gotten after that candle closed somewhere about right there. Right? But for us, we want to use it as a confirmation because we want it to close above a key level. Some people want the 4 hour key level, and some people want the last lower high key level. Right? Japanese candle, the last sellers, we closed above on this candle. But what do we like about this setup that happened? Who would have took this sniper entry with us? Because remember, this is a 15-minute key level here. So I'm gonna move this box, right? It's a 15-minute key level right here. Right. And I like showing my 15 minutes because this is our entry time frame. So when price was below, it's hitting on this 15-minute. But we don't know price gonna keep tanking because it's a break, retest. It could keep tanking. Super, super snipe entry. As soon as this candle closed above this level, right? That's our first entry. We took over the buyers. They in control. They open lower. They still open. They still in control. Still in control. They still in control. They still in control. They still in control. We took over. But that's not enough for us to get in a trade because this is just a retest. They had to take over to make the retest. And we've been in a downtrend, so we don't want to get caught in a retest and then they keep tanking. So we wait until they close above back into the buy level. But then we got the inside bar that we love to see. And y'all are learning to love to see it. Inside bar, right? The mother candle is pregnant with the baby. It tried to come down. We're expecting the baby to pop up, but the upside. If we can close outside of this candle, that's a signal to get in the early trade. But it's also coinciding with our 15-minute level. So if price actually close outside the whole box, that's a good entry. Makes sense for the inside bar. That's the advanced part of the training. And then boom, we got it. Oh, perfection. Me and Shawnee is in this thing. Like, yes. Inside bar. She's having a baby. Let's go, mother. Yes. Pop that baby out. Right? Or at this point, it's confirmation. And we're like, man, can we just close above that 4 hour? I need the 15-minute. Oh, very next candle. And then going back to your other training, what else could have let you into this trade if you didn't remember what the inside bar is? What is this? Let's see if y'all remember, right? Don't throw away your skills just because we're learning something new. Bullish engulfing with the raid. Yes. Give me my money, you little sellers. Give me that. And I'm out the door. This candle closed precisely. I mean, this the 15-minute close, but now we got that 4 hour level close. Anybody taking the 4 hour entry? Or you waiting for the last one, which is the lower high entry? Anybody taking this entry with me? Or we waiting for this one? You like the 4 hour? Going once, going twice. Everybody fell asleep because y'all getting extra time. You're like, Todd, we be out of here in 1 hour. I know. You're getting extra time since I couldn't teach. And what we doing? We hit TP1. We waited patiently. Did this person's trade get activated at the lower high? Did their trade get activated? What about us down here that super sniped that thing? Woo, sheesh, sheesh, sheesh. Oh no. So my level is way up here at 222, I think. I said I'm holding it up here, I guess. Oh, let me go to our actually trade because I don't know. Let me see. Because that's the other. This our actual markup. Oh, here it is. So this is where price is right now. And I got, oh yeah, I got it up here. I said 219. We definitely better run and get out the trade. But it's basically what we did. Right? Y'all see it. We got our weekly. But we just had to wait this shift. So Toya, going back to that change of character. This the first one we had down here. Like, look at it. It's time to go. They've been in control a long time. All right, y'all. We really broke it down from beginning to end fully. I know it took longer than usual, but I really hate breaking up the call sometimes for trainings like this. It's just hard to break it up. But if you made it,